Well, FIFA has officially removed Indonesia as the host of the 2023 Under-20 World Cup following a surge of resistance against the participation of the Israeli national team, despite a last-ditch attempt to lobby the World Soccer governing body by Erick Thohir, the chairman of the Indonesian Football Association, or the PSSI. And to talk about the current situation and what could happen to Indonesia's footballing scene, we are joined by an Indonesian football analyst, Firzie. Idris. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, or good evening, I should say.
Hi, Krishna. Hi. Thank you for having me, Asia Prime.
All right. Thanks for being with us. It's, of course, very sad and disappointing news that FIFA has removed Indonesia as a host country of the Under-20 World Cup this year. It's only about 8 weeks before the contest was supposed to begin. How badly do you think this will impact Indonesia's footballing ecosystem?
Yeah, as you say, it's like really a bolt out of the blue, a lightning in the middle of daylight. Before this, our main concern is infrastructure. And infrastructure, the team in PSSI and the government are doing as best as they can, and they are making deadlines that are assigned to them. Infrastructure-wise, we eventually encounter no problem, even though that's one of our main concerns. But the statement made by the two governors and then followed by a host of public organizations, it really disturbed the preparation to the World Cup. And then eventually FIFA is having none of this because, as you know, this Under-20 World Cup, we fought so hard. I know people who worked so hard at PSSI in getting this privilege to be a host country. I know a lot of good people at PSSI who work tirelessly for this to work. And the Under-20 World Cup is the second most prestigious FIFA tournament after the Men's Senior World Cup. So what happened now? I mean, it's a shame that we all have to endure. It's a pain that all Indonesian, who love football especially, this will go down in history as one of the few examples where a host nation, in the very short amount of time, canceled their candidacy, canceled their hosting of this FIFA event for something that can obviously be done, like in the last year since Israel won the rights to go to this Under-20 World Cup. So yeah, this is a big blow, not just for our nation, but for the image of our nation, for the profile of our nations that President Jokowi has built over the years by hosting the Asian Games, by hosting the G20. This is a truly scandalous moment, I can say.
Right. Of course, the reputation of Indonesian football was on the line. As we know, the Kanjuruhan Stadium incident was a big one. And this was our chance to kind of get back, but it seems we have failed yet again. Before we go on further into the impact, I want to ask first about the moments leading up to the ban, especially regarding politicians who had, stated that they do not want the Israeli national team to play. Now, I want you to explain maybe a little bit about the legality of FIFA and sort of the regulations as to how FIFA can ban certain countries from being hosts again. I mean, how short-sighted do you think this move was by Indonesian politicians and governors to say that they don't want Israeli national team? Is there any chance in the world that could have worked?
Yeah, I think it's a gambit by both governors. I think they want to cater to a certain demographic within Indonesia, a certain section of their supporters, but I think it's a gambit that has backfired massively. It's a gambit that's proven to make both of them highly unpopular among the Indonesian football fans. And I can tell you that Indonesian football fans is one of the biggest fan bases in Southeast Asia. We are second to none with our passion and our love for the game in this region. So the legality of it, well, we as a host nation, we signed the host nation contract, and the cities as a venue, the venue holders, they had signed the host city contract almost a year, 2 years ago. Okay, provided it came before the knowledge that Israel will above all expectations. It has to be said that what happened with Israel at their qualifiers, the Euro Under-19 last year, was highly improbable, but it happened. Israel before this never have gone past the group stages of the Under-19 World Cup. They only qualified once for the Under-19 for the Under-19 Euros before this. So for them to be runners-up in the tournament that made them qualify for Indonesia 2023 is highly improbable. But it's supposed to be a risk that is that's been taken. It's supposed to be a risk that has been propagated by our ministers, by our government, by the PSSI. There's always that risk of Israel going through to Indonesia. So we signed the contract with FIFA, we signed the commitment, and then just pull out at almost 8 weeks for 50 days before the tournament is highly responsible. And then we are in football terms, we are nothing. Indonesian national team, we are 150 in the world. We last go to the World Cup when we were still the Dutch East Indies in 1938. So when we as a nation began to lobby FIFA by pushing our points, okay, you can have the tournament here, but this. Maybe you can cross Israel from the list. FIFA were not having that. FIFA, okay. You cannot negotiate like that with FIFA. This is their event. We fought for the privilege to be hosting this event, not to tell FIFA, oh, you should do this, you should do that. We cannot do that to FIFA because, like it or not, we know FIFA is not entirely clean. I mean, they have a reputation for a lot of things, but like it or not, we are a member of FIFA. We are just a small member of FIFA in front of them. I've been to FIFA events. I've been to the World Cup, and Indonesia, they don't give a second glimpse towards Indonesia. I mean, they have a lot of other great nations fighting for the trophy for the World Cup. Yeah, that's what I said. We almost we never qualified for the World Cup since 1930. So.
Yeah. So I mean, as you were saying, we are a member of FIFA, but there are reports that there could be a possibility that Indonesia will be sanctioned by FIFA. Is there a possibility that we could be removed from FIFA, do you think?
No, because even Erick himself still doesn't know what kind of extent the possible sanction. It should be noted that it's still a possible sanctions. Maybe we can get away with administrative sanctions, or maybe we don't get away, and then we got hit by the severest of sanctions, which is the Firzie, the frozen of PSSI. But in this case, I think the other important point in the FIFA release, considering the cancellation, is that FIFA, despite the possible sanctions, FIFA will still help us to transform the national football, transform the PSSI, total reformation of our national football after the Kanjuruhan tragedy. I think that's a big point also. So maybe internally, maybe FIFA will give us a chance to clean up. Maybe FIFA will give us a chance to, I don't know, to make referee training, to perhaps standardize the security protocols in the stadium, to do all that kind of things. But maybe the sanctions will be externally, that the Indonesian national team and the Indonesian team cannot play under the FIFA or AFC competition.
Okay. Now, I want to go back onto the impact, other than sanctions.
Yeah.
How will this cancellation of the hosting the Under-20 World Cup potentially impact other sports in Indonesia, do you think?
Yeah, because as you know, our President Joko Widodo, has already declared that we want to be in the run-in for the 2036 Olympics. We tried with the 2032 Olympics, but we came in too late. Our National Olympic Committee said to us that we tried very hard to get 2032, but then that privilege goes to Brisbane in Australia. So we were aiming for 2036 Olympics, and hosting the Olympics is gonna be much bigger and tougher than hosting the World Cup. And actually, we also has plans. PSSI also has plans to host the 2034 World Cup with fellow ASEAN states like Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. So, yeah, this will have impact for other aspects of our sporting. We as a sporting nation will have repercussions to it. So this is up to the lobby of Erick and his team to get the least significant sanctions possible, if that even considered by FIFA, because there's only 50 days left. There's not a lot of federation that can help with this, except the Argentine FA. Argentine FA stepped in, and they said they can hold this in 50 days with the government support.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to go back to the Under-20 World Cup. Just clarify to the public. Of course, if we had hosted it, that would have been automatic qualification for Indonesia. But now, just give us a clarification. Is there any chance at all that the Indonesian Under-20 team could participate in the event, in the World Cup?
Yeah. Well, with the official application from the Argentine FA, that will not be possible, because the Argentinians will get the last slot remaining. Our slot, the home country slot, as we know, Argentina did not qualify through the CONMEBOL qualifiers. Their coach, Javier Mascherano, lost his job because of that. So, the possibility of our team going into the Under-20 World Cup is currently zero.